Hello there internet, it's Mogwai here, and I need a haircut. And on top of that, I have a video for you guys today that includes both a new deck and a surprise Liliana cameo. So quite the package for you guys today, as we are going to be talking about Rackety Sackdos, a Rakdos Aristocrats build that I used to climb up really high in the ladder with. Like, I actually reached top 30 in Mythic rank with this bad boy, but I gotta preface this by saying that, rank doesn't really mean that much at MTG Arena, and the fact that I managed to reach top 30 with this deck in MTG Arena doesn't mean that this is a top tier deck, because it's not. It is very weak to certain very strong archetypes in the metagame right now, particularly Esper. Esper is a very difficult matchup for us to deal with, and thus, while we are a very synergy focused and strong potential value sort of tactic build, English, we're also very vulnerable. We're vulnerable to AoE effects. We're vulnerable to not only Esper, but Jeskai Planeswalker builds, because the likes of Cry the Carnarium and Deafening Clarion are extremely powerful against us. Even with the help of the sideboard, we are quite susceptible to that, and therefore, it's important for me to point that out. This is not a tier 1 deck, but I'd give it a solid tier 2 status, and it is one of the most fun decks, if not the most fun deck I played with this season, because it is just an absolute joy, and hopefully today's gameplay will showcase a little bit of, why that is the case, right? So, it is an Aristocrats deck. It is built around the idea of sacrificing our own creatures and triggering a lot of death proc effects, and getting advantage over our opponent while doing so. While on top of that, we have some resurrection mechanics incorporated onto the build, and a lot of inherent synergy with Liliana Dreadhorde General, which is on her own a fantastic 6-mana bomb. But on top of that, she actually synergizes. Like, this is perhaps the deck in which she synergizes the most out of all the decks in which you see Liliana in Standard, right? So the idea and the most key components of this build are Priest of Forgotten Gods, Judith the Scourge Diva, and Mayhem Devil. This guy is legit. He is, in my opinion, very underrated. Goes off so much, and not only works well with Priest of the Forgotten Gods and, obvious synergies like Playcrafter, but also works with Liliana Dreadhorde General and the likes of Fanatical Firebrand as well. And one of the key things is that when you go for Priest of the Forgotten Gods with Mayhem Devil, you actually trigger him 3 times, because you sacrifice 2 creatures and your opponent sacrifices 1. This counts both players each time they sacrifice a permanent. So Mayhem Devil can lead to tremendous damage, and on top of that, in conjunction with Judith, can enable you to potentially board wipe your opponent with a single proc from Priest, because these effects activate before Priest forces the opponent to sacrifice a creature. Therefore, you can use these specific pings to shoot down the opponent's board state and leave them with the big fat creature that's left, and that will be the one they have to sacrifice, right? So very, very strong deck against mid-range builds, creature-based decks in general, and actually a rather strong tactic versus mono red aggro as well. People were saying that this deck would be pretty bad in that matchup, and it turns out I won, how many times did I face mono red? I think 3 or 4, and I won like every series but 1 specifically. So it proved to me that this deck can hang in there, because we actually have a very low game or early game curve as well, and we can keep up with their pace, and we can use our death trigger effects to ping down their own units and try to overwhelm them in the late game with either Bond 2, Gruesome Menagerie, or Liliana Dreadhorde General. And we do a good job at staying alive, because we can block their early onslaught. The only thing that we can't really stop is Goblin Chain Whirler, which is very strong against us, but we do have means or ways to deal with it. And of course, their direct damage spells, right? So, as I said, this deck is built around mainly these 3 components. We have 2 Gutterbones, 2 Fanatical Firebrands, and 4 Footlight Fiends as our 1-drops of choice. I like Fanatical Firebrand because of the synergy with Mayhem Devil. I like Gutterbones because of the early game presence, the fact that it has 2 attack, and the fact that it can keep coming back to my hand, and thus giving me an endless resource to, capitalize on with my Aristocrats sort of tactics. While Footlight Fiend is the one that I chose as a 4 of, because I have so many sacrifice effects, like not only Priest of the Forgotten Gods, but also Playcrafter and my own Liliana. This 1 damage that I ping with Footlight Fiend with as he dies can really go a long way when you add it on top of Judith and Mayhem Devil's pings as well. On top of that, we have 3 copies of Lazotep Reaver, which is on its own a pretty underwhelming 2-drop. It's just for 2 mana, a 1/2 and a 1/1. Doesn't really go much more than that. But because we're playing Judith, we can capitalize on us being able to develop 2 bodies with 1/2 mana play. And of course, the biggest reason is because we play Priest of Forgotten Gods. So a lot of times we don't have the board state to really utilize our effect. And Lazotep Reaver gives us 2 bodies for 1 play, which can enable us to, get Priest going in a pinch when we're being pressured by the opponent, which can, happens more often than you would think, obviously. Dreadhorde Butcher as a 4-of, especially threatening when we're going first, naturally, because if they don't have a 1-drop, then all of a sudden if we connect with this guy once, then he is already a huge threat for the opponent. And the fact that he has an effect, similar to Footlight Fiend here, also enables us to capitalize on that by sacrificing him when we need to and dealing as much damage as, the power that we've been able to build up with him. On top of that, we have 2 Heartfires, which are our source of potentially removal or a way to finish off the opponent, as well as we can deal 4 damage to any target at the expense of sacrificing a creature. But because we're playing a deck that, works around that idea, like we want to sacrifice our creatures eventually, this is a more powerful lightning strike basically in our build. 2 Playcrafters, 2 Theater of Horrors, really strong against matchups that drag out a little bit. It can enable us to just basically draw an extra card every turn, because this is incredibly easy for us to trigger, and due to the nature of our deck, just Fanatical Firebrand alone, and of course our sacrificing effects that enable us to ping any target can just be utilized to deal 1 damage to the opponent, and then just get all the cards that we draw with this and play whatever we need. Very strong card, especially against Grixis control. Not so much against Esper, because the Fairy Time Raveler can bounce this thing, and Big Teferi as well. So in those matchups, Theater of Horrors is a little bit less reliable, but versus the likes of Grixis and other matchups like, for example, Bant or Simic, this can be a very powerful resource to enable us to, keep going. Then on top of that, we got 1-off of God Eternal Bond 2, which can work really well with Mayhem Devil and also enable us to refuel our hand if we have flooded a little bit. And Gruesome Menagerie. This is a very, very powerful card in this deck, as we have quite the diversity in regards to, or variety, or availability is probably the best term. Like, we got a lot of 1-drops, we got a lot of 2-drops, and we got a lot of 3-drops is what I'm trying to say. So with the Gruesome Menagerie, we can easily have a graveyard set up so that we can resurrect a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and a 3-drop, and we get to do so for 5 mana, which is kind of like a mini Command the Dreadhorde without having to pay any sort of life in the process, and of course for 5 mana instead of 6. So very big power play that gives us a lot of value and momentum as well, enabling us to return a destroyed Priest of the Forgotten Gods alongside one of the 1-drops and potentially Judith or Mayhem Devil or even Playcrafter in some scenarios. So really, really cool card in this deck, and one of the reasons why I really wanted to build this specifically. And then 2 Lilianas to, like I said, have our late game power source. As I explained in the deck tech, this is a very strong card here, and there's a lot of synergy with her, which makes her even better. Once I get Liliana going with a little bit of a board state, it's very hard to stop this deck from going, and oh my lord, is it fun. Going for the -4 and just triggering all the Mayhem Devil like 4 times and having just everything, pinging at everything and just clearing the board. And on top of that, drawing cards, it's just glorious. I'm just going to say, it's just absolutely fucking glorious. So the sideboard here is rather straightforward. We have 3 Duresses, 2 Elder Spells, 2 Direfleet Daredevils, 2 Lava Coils, 2 Midnight Reapers, 2 Tibolts, and 2 Command the Dreadhorde. Command the Dreadhorde is there for the Esper control matchup, and also for the Dreadhorde for color combo, or the Sultai Dreadhorde matchups as well. We can use our own strategy against them, and against Esper, because they don't tend to push damage onto us and they play more of a defensive game, we can capitalize on them with this, as they don't tend to keep their Dovin's Veto against us, because we're mainly a creature-based deck anyways. So this can be a very big power play against them, and one of the things that can enable us to potentially win that matchup. Tibalt, for any matchup in which they may heal, Tibalt is actually really good in this deck to begin with, because those 1/1 Red Devil tokens that deal 1 damage to anything when they die are the perfect kind of token. They're basically Footlight Fiends. They're Footlight Fiends with a different name, and the fact that this Planeswalker generates 2 of them is always very useful for us. Midnight Reaper for control matchups, so it helps us not run out of steam, specifically Esper, as it is a better resource than Theater of Horrors in that matchup right there. 2 other spells for Planeswalker-driven decks, triple res for control. Direfleet Daredevil is very flexible for both control matchups and potentially mono-red as well, to enable us to, you know, remove their creatures easier, and 2 Lava Coils for creature-based matchups on top of that. So that is the sideboard right there, and that is the main deck. Like I said, one of the most fun, just so I cannot emphasize how fun it is to play this deck. I really encourage you to try it out if you can afford it, because it's been an absolute blast. You know, playing with this in Mythic, I've had so many amazing games, and it kind of sucks that I can't showcase as many. You know, I'm gonna have to go with 2 best of 3 series, and one of them is gonna feature my girlfriend Shermie, who is gonna do a cameo, appearing in the middle of the stream, dressed up as Liliana, because she is a professional cosplayer. In case you haven't heard about her, basically she is a Brazilian national, or basically Brazilian, you know, making reference to my flag there. She's Brazilian, and she's a professional cosplayer from there. We live together and such, and she does all sorts of different cosplays related to video games, you know, animes, movies, etc. And she is a big Magic the Gathering fan herself, so yeah, she showcased in the middle. She stopped by in the middle of my stream, basically, dressed up as Liliana, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I thought I would make use of this video to give her a shout out. You know, have links in the description down below to her Instagram, her Twitter, her Facebook, all that goodness, in case you guys want to give her a follow and potentially support her on Patreon as well. She works really hard and does an amazing job at it. But I'm probably biased, but I'm a big fan, and she has a pretty big following as well. So, you know, check her out if you are into cosplays and all that stuff. And that's where I'm going to end it here. We've been talking for quite a bit, but I really like this deck, and I felt like I had a little bit to talk about it. So yeah, and I'm sometimes I speak too fast, and I don't even know what comes out of my mouth, man. But yeah, fun deck. Hope you enjoy the games. Leave a like if you do, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a Singleton video, because I got an OP Singleton deck to showcase, and I'm very excited for that as well. So yeah, that's all day. Enjoy. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, this is a good hand. Alright, our opponent got Magic the Gathering. I mean, it's hard to believe that after 2 mulligans, we won't get, like, a significant advantage over them by playing a Butcher on curve. Going first. Butcher going first is so much more menacing. Yeah. Jund. You know what's cool? I can Firebrand into this, then attack with these 3. He can block one of them, and I push 6 damage. Not in a huge rush, unless they have, like, they play Ritualist Soot in their own deck. I really doubt that's the case, though. Dago's sad. I'm gonna relax for now. He's clearly a warrior deck. We don't mind about Bird. Bird is fine. I changed my mind, which is why I'm doing this now. Because I should have just bobbed with this. Because I didn't need to waste my Dreadhorde Butcher doing that. Okay, I need to draw something good here. Or I can just draw 2 lands in a row. Clean. Clean! Nice. Suave. Work of art, baby. Ah, nice. Alright, so we definitely want lava coils, and I think we want them over. I mean, Heartfires, I want to keep one Heartfire. Though Priest of the Forgotten Gods is most definitely the most important card here. We're going second, so Dreadhorde Butcher loses a lot of utility. I'd rather have like a Direfleet Daredevil instead. We also gotta watch out for the Goblin Chain Whirler. That thing provides our opponent with a tremendous amount of value. So we don't want to bring Tibalt because of that. We may want to take out one Gutter Bones for another Heartfire just because of that. We got 2 Lilianas, the Gruesome Menageries, 1 Bantu, the Theater of Horrors, which was really good there. Everything else seems fine. We're still like very weak to Chain Whirler, but this way we're a little bit less so. I'll keep. Turn 1 monkey. I sure do like turn 1 monkey. Obviously, you know, I can smell the Chain Whirler coming from a mile away, but we're still gonna, you know, attempt to like pressure our opponent this way. Okay, maybe not. Well, let's try to smack him. And let's play theater. Alright, Fiery Cannonade. This basically trades with the Lazotep Reaver. We're prepared for Bird. Are we prepared for Domri? Domri's actually... Domri's a little bit of an issue here. We're gonna have to coil this. I think we're definitely gonna have to coil this.
It ain't the first time I've been knocked about. Now you're getting the spirit. Nothing disgusts me more than law and order.
All right. It seems he has a shock. Okay, so we got rid of Domri. Alright, we're good. Oh, look. You gotta learn that bit. Look at my Liliana.
I'm taking photos for Patreon, but I forgot what it looks like. So I need to wait for them to dry now. How's that going?
Look, I'm about to cast you, babe.
Jesus, it's so hot in here. Oh my god.
It is, isn't it?
I'm dying.
Alright, guys, I think we have... I was gonna do a gruesome menagerie, but I think we have to... Okay, I think Liliana has to wait a turn. Forgive me, babe. Well, forgive me, please.
You disappoint me.
Actually, does she have to wait a turn? We have gruesome menagerie, which we can apply... Well, I mean, Playcrafter's pretty good here. Yeah, I have to go with it now. I don't know. Do I cast Liliana? I mean...
Occupation.
I mean...
Oh my god, it's so hot in here. No, I don't think I can stay for long. Just if my nails should dry. Play it right. At least win when I'm here.
Will do. Thank you, guys. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna play you. You're coming in soon, babe. Don't worry.
Alright.
That's
as
the
long
computer.
as I can stay.
That's
He's
the
the computer, right?
All right, let's attack him.
By the way, I made you platinum tier 2 with the baby version of this deck. So
Platinum
good
tier
stuff.
2. When did you start playing?
1 week ago.
1 week ago. She started in bronze tier 4, and she's now platinum tier 2. And what have you been playing?
Yeah, I made all by myself. I have the veil here, by the way. Why the cosplay though? I am a professional cosplayer. I'm taking some photos outside, but I forgot the nail polish, so I need to wait for it to dry before taking the photos.
You can follow her at Shermie. She's on Instagram,
Share me cosplay.
Facebook, Twitter. Oh, what an asshole. What? That's fine.
I want him
Nice.
to cosplay Rao. I think it's
Yeah, Rao is
good.
like.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it would look good.
Oh man, do I go for another? I think. Because I can sacrifice this, ping you, play another theater, and then drop the Playcrafter. That's just so good.
Thank you, Annie. I'm still waiting.
I'm getting there. Don't you worry. Look at this.
You're making me wait. So you like Jace, right? Don't push me. I'm a mod in the chat. I can ban you guys. We can all see who comments the horde in the house.
Oh, excuse me. You're talking to the alpha male here. I'm the man of the house. Right, baby?
Yeah, of course. Whatever you say.
Oh, yo, mai wo shindarumi. Okay. That makes it interesting. Okay, babe, I think now it's time.
I mean, now it's the only card in your hand.
Well,
So,
This isn't your average.
there we go.
Sideboard.
We cast Shermie, and we're gonna go for the +1.
alright guys, this room is like,
Right.
it's so hot in here. So I'm going to take my photos and have fun. And help me, because I need to build this deck. Because I got to platinum, but now I'm...
She's only been
stuck.
playing Rakdos, by the way.
Yeah, I'm only playing Rakdos.
All the way to platinum tier 2. We'll fix it after this stream. Don't worry.
Alright. I would love to see your take on Rao. Oh, that would be really cool, babe. We need to make it happen.
No fair. I want a real life Liliana.
Clearly, Mog is the horde. My cosplay Instagram is Shermie Cosplay. Alright, enough of shameless, advertising.
Follow,
Okay.
subscribe. Well, you can't subscribe, but follow.
You can subscribe. I also stream Magic.
Oh yeah, exactly. She streams on Twitch as well. And yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Maybe I should stream a bit as Liliana. because-
MySpace.
No MySpace.
Oh no.
Alright guys, have fun. Please win this game. And I see it. Bye babe.
Bye, babe.
Today, Death.
Have a good one.
Jesus, it's so much pressure outside.
Yeah, I can feel it as well. Okay. Well, this is a little bit problematic. I think I'm gonna attack with this because that'll force him to block and that'll enable me to draw a card. And I don't really miss out on, because if I ping for 4, I have a total of 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I would like to be able to. So otherwise, what do we do? What do I do here? I'm gonna attack because that extra card draw can be good. Otherwise, I enable the. So I want to draw a card.
They were allowed to serve in
Alright, that's pretty decent. We want the priest. And we want the Judith. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have an answer for the priest. Because all of a sudden he's really spun around here. Like, the Chain Whirler is not really the problem. Okay, he does. He may not have an answer here. You killed my girlfriend, you fucking asshole. Can I get me some F's in the chat for Liliana Shermy? All right. Let's ping to the face. Okay, that sucks. Okay, we got 3, 5, 6. Alright, with double theater though, like he's got that dragon flying over me, right? But he's literally top decking at this point. Alright, that's good. He probably has to keep that in the back because he's still afraid, yeah. Like, we got him on lockdown here. Easy peasy. So, if he blocks these two, this one and this one, or this one, then I hit him, I got him. Mama, we got him. Easy peasy. Bam. Attaboy. 2-0 with Liana cameo. Ah, with the 25 cheers, Sir Sergeant Air Raid. Thank you, man. I didn't see it, honestly. Really appreciate it, buddy. Okay, I'll keep this. We got a double trouble here, but I do like the Theater of Horrors. Like, whenever I see this card, I'm pretty content because that means I can just keep coming. This card is low-key, like, very strong. Very big fan of this card. Alright, seems we may be facing Gruul. Thorn Lieutenant. We'll drop the Reaver. Yikes. I'll drop the Mayhem Devil to at least, you know, be able to block into that. I think I'm gonna drop. No, I'm not gonna block with this. I'll take the hit. I'll keep this Mayhem in the back so I can block this Thorn Lieutenant, and hopefully my opponent doesn't have removal for Priest. He has 4 cards in hand. We gotta hope he can remove Priest, because if he can remove... Ooh! Ooh!
Let's do this! There's no problem fire can't solve.
Okay, no shock. That's good. We have to go Judith. Sacrifice these two. Go face. Yeah. I'm gonna ignore Chandra.
This is just gonna be bad for you.
Ron Ranooks with the sub.
What know you of dragons? Look to the skies.
Okay, so we got 4, 5, 6, 6, dropping him down to 7. I think I'd like to. I think I'd like to play Liliana though. 3, 4, 5, 6. We can attack with all these faced, so just kill that.
Come on, listen to them roar. No.
Okay, so it was 6, 2, 10, 11. I missed out on lethal by a little bit. Like I didn't have lethal. And I'm gonna sacrifice you. And you.
I am the master here. Smelly, but effective.
Let's light it up!
They were a lousy servant anyway.
Perfect.
You would be more useful. The dead is in light.
Didn't even need the play crafter. I think otherwise we keep it as it is, right? Though Direfleet Daredevil seems pretty promising in this matchup because they're definitely going to be packing a lot of removal. They're definitely going to be going for a lot of removal. So we're going to take out 1 Reaver for that. Honestly, probably just 2 Reavers for 2 Direfleet Daredevils. I think I like that. You could cut Menagerie? I don't think so. Menagerie is very powerful. Alright, we'll keep. That sucks that our priest got answered there. Obviously, it's to be expected, and it also sucks that we're running out of. We'll let him hit. Okay, there we go. We're gonna be aggressive.
You call it anarchy. For me, it's just another day. Oh, let the blighters feel the ground tremble. We will rise again.
Two. I kind of wish this start, like I'm kind of regarding like swapping this out, but then again, this can be a way to finish him off. Okay. Ah, these theater of horrors. Could have lethal. We're close, man. We were close. Okay, definitely regret keeping so many theaters of horrors. I think we definitely got to tone it down in this matchup. I think one is enough in case we run out of steam, and I think Lazotep Breavers can help us quite a bit. Well, one Lazotep Breaver and one... No, it's Heartfire really necessary. I think Lazotep Breavers give us good utility. I think this is better. We got close. We definitely got close. But our sideboarding was a little bit incorrect. I should acknowledge that Theater of Horrors in a matchup like this can be a bit of a liability in the long run. I'm going to keep this hand. It's lacking red mana, but all my initial plays are black nonetheless. Alright, seems there's no shock. Beautiful. Beautiful. We have to watch out. He could have a Goblin Chain Whirler, so I think playing the Lazotep Reaver is a mistake. I think just dropping another Priest of the Forgotten Gods is the correct play to go with. Beautiful. Ho, 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 ho. We need more red mana, though. Is there anything I can do here? Let's just go face. Oh, dude, we're on a roll. Top 30, because why not? Oh my god.